Here's my recording, and just give me a quick second here. Yay. Okay. I'm just going to keep it like this because I think sometimes when I'm trying to manage in PowerPoint mode, I don't do a very good job. So I'm just going to keep it like this since my slides are short today. But welcome to the Successfit team call. I'm always excited to be on here with you guys. It's always really nice to connect. I got to meet up with Jody on our team this week, and it was so nice just to kind of feel like it's like visually connected with someone else that's on that same mission. So love these calls for that. But I wanted to call this call Dare to Dream because I really think that's what we're all talking about. Before I pass it over to Emma and introduce her, just a couple quick announcements. First of all, promotions for the month. If you didn't notice it in Successfit or don't know much about it, I want to be clear on what they are. The PIO Challenge Pack is on promotion. And in US dollars, it is normally $160, but it is on for $140. In Canadian dollars, it is normally $186, and it is on for $164. The 3-day refresh is also the exact same pricing. In the US, it's normally $160 on for $140, and in Canada, it's $186 on for $164. And I feel like I think I mentioned it in our team, but that's such a huge opportunity. I've had some of the best months ever when that one is on promotion because it's an opportunity for you to do a really quick detox cleanse and sort of pass that. Like people really like things to be short and see results. So you can actually get it, do it, share your results, and still get people in another group all in the same month. So it's a really cool opportunity for that. And then the Kickstart, you have the PIO Kickstart, which is basically the PIO program, your Shakeology, and a 3-day refresh. Is in Canadian, it's normally $237. It's on for $210. So that's what the promos are this month. And I don't know if you noticed, but the Success Club prizes this month are amazing. So just for hitting Success Club 5, which is helping those 3 people into a challenge group this month, Beachbody is giving us the whole P90X basic program, P90X2 basic program, and P90X Plus. And like that's, well over 400 Canadian dollars. Those combined, they're huge. And they were actually the programs that started my journey. So I have a super soft spot in my heart for them. So huge score just for helping 3 people this month. So I would definitely, make sure that you're getting that sorted first thing in the month. Coach Basics. I am starting the next Successfit Coach Basics is starting on Monday. So if you are a new coach and haven't gone through it, or if you are feeling like you've been a little bit lost, there's a brand new Coach Basics. It's been revamped, and I'm really excited to run the first one in Successfit starting Monday. So make sure you pass that on to your teams and that you let me know if it's something you want to dive into or want to just discuss and see if it's the right thing. And also sneak peek into coaching. So tomorrow night, I am co-hosting a Zoom with Jody and Janie. And I can give you more details on it, but if you have people you want to invite to that, you're always welcome to do so, or just to hop on and see how we run them. There'll be another one later in the month. And of course, if you want to co-host one, I'm happy to do that at any point in time. Okay. Just a little recognition. Last month was a great month with the Cup. I know there was a lot of really exciting team numbers that went up and some exciting prizes won, but it's obviously an amazing thing. And it's not the start and finish of a business to hit Success Club, but it really is a key indicator in how you're doing. So fighting for it and making sure that you're doing the behaviors to reach Success Club every month are the most important things that you can be doing and focused on, and how we really help people. So I do have to recognize a couple people, Christy and Jess Keating and Claire Druce. This was sort of their first month really focused as coaches, and all hit Success Club this month. And that's a really big deal. It's the precedent set, and now they can keep going with that. So congrats to you guys. Okay, I am going to stop talking, and I am going to introduce to you guys Emma Whaley, who is going to be hosting our call all about dreaming tonight. She's the creator of the Fierce Fit Phenomenon, which is the bigger team that we're a part of. And she was a 2014 and 2015 elite coach and a 2016 elite contender. She's a Success Club 5 All-Star legend. So if you don't know what that means that for over 24 months in a row, she has hit Success Club 5 or above. And I think it looked like you were at 33 months now, Emma, which is amazing. And more than anything, she's my mentor and the woman whose YouTube video, amongst 100 others that I watch, really inspired me to become a coach. And I can get really caught up in systems, but it was Emma, and continues to be Emma, who really helps me to see what's possible in this business and to dream bigger than what I ever thought possible. So I'm really excited to pass it over to her, and I'm going to stop my screen share and let you guys hear the magic. So,
well, thanks. That's so sweet. Yeah, I think you give me too much credit, but the moment Bria joined our team, I was like, oh, she's going to be good. She's going to be really, really good. And I think it just goes to show that, like, my YouTube videos, you guys have probably seen some of them. They're not anything spectacular. I'm not a Caleb Thomas, and I'm definitely not as organized as like Brittany Leggett or Brigitte Linford. But that's the cool thing about this business, is that you don't have to be anyone else. You can just be you with a big vision and consistent effort, and it can take you a long way. Heart goes a long way in this business, and just speaking to the heart of your team, your challengers, on a consistent basis. So I'm really excited to be on this call, and I feel honored that I was asked. So thank you, Bria. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And it's always awkward because I feel like I'm talking to myself when I share my screen and then start my PowerPoint presentation. And so, oh, there we go. I can still see myself. Yay, go me. So the theme that Bria wanted me to talk on is dreaming big, or daring to dream. And I think that it all starts with believing in yourself. And so we're going to talk a lot about belief tonight. And that's one thing that's going to make or break you in this business. And that's just that simple. So I love this image of one of my good friends, Missy Reber. She's been a coach for just 2 years, and she's a 9-star diamond coach, elite coach. And she just leads her business with love. It's not that she has a talent wheel that we don't have or whatever. She has all the same credentials that we all do, but she just shows up for her business every day, and it's just helped her to be really successful. So she's amazing. She just is the salt of the earth. But I love that she says, be the rock star of your own life. And so that is enough. Okay. Your dream isn't wrong just because others don't get it. So on here, I have a picture of Missy, that girl I just showed you. I have a picture of her kids to the left here. And she's a mom of 4, and her big dream was that she wanted to move her family to Oregon and just retire her husband and live on a farm. Now, to me, that sounds awful, and I would never want that. Like, she talks about snakes being in her house, and like, they have goats now, and anyway, that just sounds way too much poop and stuff to clean up. No, thank you. But that's her dream. And so who am I to argue that that's her dream, right? And then down here, I have a picture of Amy Silverman. She's a top coach with Beachbody, and her boyfriend travel all over the world. They've seen like every beach. They just love to kind of be gypsies that just travel around and experience life by the ocean. And just recently, she bought a house in the Caribbean, and she's moving with her Beachbody business there. That's her dream. And she's making it come true with Beachbody. And then there's a picture of my husband with my daughter in the middle. And one day, I think it was like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, I was kind of, you could hear him. He's building a teepee for my kids right now. Sorry, it's loud. Anyway, but I was talking to him, and I was like, you've had this incredible story. You've been through so much with your PTSD. You're a retired Marine. You're a veteran. You should use that. You should go and share your story in social media and volunteer, and pushing him to do something. And he got kind of mad and was like, I am living my dream. My dream was to come home from war safely and be able to be with my kids every day. That's my dream, so back off. And I was like, who am I to tell him what his dream should be? So just because others don't get it, even if it's the closest people to you don't get it, that doesn't mean it's wrong. So whatever it is that you want, and it's the things that you go to bed thinking about, and it just isn't going away, that's probably your God-given purpose. So don't push it aside because it's not what others understand. Okay? That's what I just wanted to start with. So first of all, what's holding you back? Now this is kind of cool because it's never too late to become what you might have been. And usually we come in to come into adulthood with these self-limiting beliefs, like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm inadequate, I'm a failure, I can't do that. And it's these things that we've learned in some point of our life that is a roadblock to where we need to go. And it's something we're putting on ourselves that is absolutely not true. Here's an example. So for me, I thought I'm not a good public speaker. No one would want to hear what I want to say. Because in high school, I did a junior Miss pageant, and we were each assigned a country, and I spoke about Ethiopia, and I totally forgot what I was saying and started saying like kind of offensive things like all Ethiopians are skinny, and anyway, I was so humiliated. Yes, I did not win the pageant. And I ran off the stage with like my tail between my legs and just felt crushed. So when they've asked me to speak at things like Super Saturday, Summit, whatever, that limiting belief still gets in my way. But the only way to knock that limiting belief down is to write it down. You write down whatever it is, maybe, and then for a long time I felt like I'm not worthy. I'm inadequate. And so I would self-sabotage. Like maybe you've done this too, where I'm not worthy to, I'll just never have six-pack abs. And then you are in the middle of a workout program. You're doing well. You're kicking butt. And you're like, I've been good enough, so I'm just going to have a thing of Twinkies tonight or a whole case of Oreos. And so you self-sabotage because it's this subtle thing about not being good enough or whatever. And so you get in your own way. Or maybe you feel that way with relationships, like I could never be good enough. And so, or that person's too good for me. They don't think I am this, that, or the other. And so you do something unintentionally to ruin that relationship, to sabotage it. Or you cancel hanging out with them and cancel like meeting up with them or whatever. So I don't know what it is for you, but you got to write it down. What's holding you back to get, what limiting belief have you assigned yourself that's in the way of you getting what you want? And then I want you to write down the worst case scenario if that's true. For example, what if I went on the summit stage and I totally forgot what I was going to say, and I just stood there and I couldn't say anything, or I just started rambling? What's the worst thing that would have happened? I would have had to look down, read the cue cards that I had right in front of me, or my partner would have probably had to step in and been like, hey, Emma, here's your next thing. Or, I would have made a total fool of myself, start crying, and like ran off the stage again. That's the worst case that would have happened. Would I have died? No. Would they have asked me to speak on stage again? Probably not, whatever. But if I write down the worst case scenario and say, oh, that's all that will happen, I'm still going to move on with my life and be okay, then it kind of lessens that. And I'm able to literally like write it down, write that on a piece of paper and light it on fire and let it go and commit to never, ever allowing yourself to let that wall hold you back again. So that's the first thing. Dreams come in a size too big so we can grow into them. If it doesn't make you a little nervous to say out loud, then it's not big enough. It's not the right dream for you. There are 5 common roadblocks. The minute you settle for less than you deserve, you even get less than you settled for. Whoa, right? So here we go. 5 common roadblocks. Maybe you can identify with these, maybe not. I don't know. Number 1, being discouraged by let me get this out of the way. Being discouraged by dreaming by others. So the haters are gonna hate because unhappy people want to make you unhappy, right? So maybe you're afraid to dream around people because you're afraid of what their opinion is going to say about you, or maybe they're not going to believe in you, and you want them to say, yes, girl, go get it. But what if they don't? And what if they get mad at it or whatever? What if they hate on your dream? Guess what? It's not their life. And at the end of the day, it's you that you have to look in the mirror and say, did I honor myself today? Did I live according to my own vision and my goals today? Okay. Being hindered by past disappointments and hurts. So I kind of talked about that briefly with the whole being on stage thing, right? So you think about things like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall on my face. I've never succeeded. I dropped out of college. I that boy broke up with me, so my relationships are all doomed. You have these things that get in the way of us moving forward. And so just identify those, and then you can move on. And there's a habit of settling for average. It's comfortable, right? I can pay my bills, sort of. My life is good enough, sort of. I have enough of whatever, but you're not truly happy. You're just more like existing instead of living. And there's a big difference. And so getting comfortable with being comfortable is terrible, terrible, terrible for your dreams. It'll kill your dreams. And also, like, don't you want your kids to dream? That's what I always think about. Is like, would I be happy for my kids if they were just to give up on all their dreams? No. Lack of confidence. Oh man, this one gets us every time, right? But there's two ways to build confidence. And it's the same two things to cure fear, or to kill fear. And that's action and education. So you learn about it, and then you go. And then the lack of imagination to dream. So some people, they really don't want to allow themselves to go there, because by going there, that makes them vulnerable. And that makes them insecure because it's unknown about whether or not they will actually be able to get there. And so sometimes if we're feeling stuck or comfortable or whatever, just getting outside and trying something new, going to a new place like a museum or a concert or a new restaurant can spark some imagination. And, I get inspired to dream when I go to the shoe section at Macy's, wherever. But that helps you to at least get moving forward. So there are only two kinds of people in this world, the realists and the dreamers. And the realists know where they're going, and the dreamers have already been there. I love that, because it's like, what are you going to be, a leader or a follower? Do you want to do what others are afraid to do, or are you just going to follow behind? If you are unsure what your dream might be, then start preparing yourself to receive your dream by doing these 6 things. Number 1, mental preparation. Read and study in areas of your greatest interest. So, the shows that you like to watch, or maybe you have a dream of building your dream house or whatever, then go Google it. Start with Google. Maybe you want to be a chef or own a yoga studio. I don't know. Whatever it is cool. Maybe you want to adopt an orphan someday. Spend time on Google. Just hop on there and see what you can find, and then go put yourself there. So if you want to build a house, then go to, a few model home things and walk through and start dreaming about whatever it is you want. If you want to adopt a child, then go find a local orphanage or foster home and see if you can spend time giving service to children and see how that feels for you. The more you immerse yourself and put that in your head and put it out there to the world, the more it's going to come back to you. It's like a boomerang. Number 2, experiential preparation. Engage in activities in areas related to your interests. So that's kind of what I was just talking about. Number 3, visual preparation. Put up pictures and things that inspire you. If you want to own a beach house, go buy a picture of a beach house that's beautifully framed, wherever, Target, home goods stores, you know what I'm talking about. But put it up in your house, and then so you can see it every day, and then write your affirmations, your vision boards and things, and have them there. So every morning when you wake up, you see it. Every night when you go to bed, you see it. And the more you start putting that into your mind, the more you're going to make it happen. It's like the subliminal thoughts. It's just going to come to you. You'll start seeing opportunities. Hero preparation. I love this. Read about and try to meet people you admire and who inspire you. Follow lots of people. You can follow coaches. That's great. But I would follow other people too. Like, I love Diane Nyad, and I like to follow Jennifer Aniston, Will Smith, and The Rock, and people that have come from hard knocks and then they've made something of themselves. I love that. And they have nothing to do with coaching, but just reading what they've done, like even Taylor Swift. I think she's very inspiring because she's so creative. And the more you surround yourself by people that have been willing to give their heart and their hustle and show up and get knocked down and back up and knocked down and back up and hated on for their dream, the more you're going to feel like, if they can do it, I can do it. Why not? Why not me? And so put that on your radar to hop on a YouTube video or go to their blog or whatever and hang out with them. Number 5, physical preparation. Get your body in peak physical shape. That way you're up for anything. And when you take care of yourself, then you're able to take care of other people. You're able to take adventures because you're not going to get sick. You're able to live the life to the fullest, right? You can hike up those mountains you want to hike up and you won't be out of breath. Spiritual preparation. Seek God's help for a bigger than yourself dream. Maybe you don't believe in God. Maybe you do. I don't know. You can put it out in the world and get the juju that you need, but it's good to take time to pray and meditate every single day. And if something is right for you, it'll be in your heart. Like you're going to know. It's kind of like how you knew you loved your kids or your spouse. You just know, right? The same thing with our dreams. Like it's that thing that is in us. It's just internal. But by taking time to be still, to silence all of the noise around us, and a good time to do this is first thing in the morning, but to take time to just pray or meditate or whatever you need to do or journal and ask for help, then you'll find that the world or God or whoever will make up the difference for you when you are working hard towards something. Who you were is not who you are right now. So this picture is of me. Yay, you see my butt. And it's kind of funny when I think about like the person I was in this picture is so dramatically different than who I am right now. I was really in a place where I kind of given up on myself. I'd had a lot of like heartache and hurt and failure and things. And it wasn't just about the weight that I was carrying, but I just really felt like I was done. That was it. And I was in this picture, I think I was 30 years old. And how sad to feel like I was done at 30 years old, you know? And I just remember thinking that no one, like I wasn't important enough to be in anyone's life. But I knew there was more for me, if that makes sense. And so I just started working on me because I didn't want to give up. I had a lot of good little reasons, little babies that needed their mommy to figure out how to move forward and to stop being sad, I guess. And so I don't know where you are. Maybe that's not your story at all, but that was mine. And I was in a very dark place. But so I did. I started just to move forward a little bit and started to dream. And so no one else can own your dream for you. And I love this because if the shoe fits, then you'll wear it, right? But you can't put on other people's shoes because it's not the right fit for you. It's the same thing with our dreams. And even if we have similar dreams, like say Bria and I both want to be top coaches in the company, we're going to go about it totally differently. And the rewards that we're going to get for being a top coach, we're going to use those differently. So to own your dream, so when someone else owns your dream, it will not have the right fit. It'll be a weight on your shoulders. It's going to drain your energy. It will put you to sleep. It will take you out of your strength zone. It will be fulfilling to other people, and it will require others to make you do it. But when you own your dream, and this is definitely your dream, it will feel right on you. It will provide wings to your spirit. You're going to feel excited and energized and have that like before Christmas feeling. It will fire you up, and it's going to keep you up at night. It will take you out of your comfort zone. It will be fulfilling to you, and you will feel like you were just made to do it. That's, I guess, how people ask me, like, how did you do it? How did you stick with coaching through all your stuff? And I was like, I just knew that this is what I was supposed to do. I just knew it. And there was no one that was going to tell me I couldn't do it because it was just in me. And that's how it has to feel for you. And I don't want to be a top coach because I want to be a top coach. I want to be a top coach because of the other things and the plans that I have for our life and the freedom it's already given us. And so it has nothing to do with like the credentials or recognition. This is a vehicle to get me where I want to go, if that makes sense. So the most important thing is to know that you are good enough for whatever it is that you're dreaming. You are. I promise you that you are uniquely and divinely made. And there's a reason there's no one else here that is exactly like you. And that's so cool because your story, your talents, and everything has brought you to this point because people need to know your story. You've been given your experiences for a reason. And you're still alive. That means you're not done. You'll know when you're done. You'll be dead. Okay? The most common excuse for not going for your dream is timing. There is never the right time. If you wait too long, you'll be dead, and so will your dream. That's what I just said. So go all in on you. You may succeed if no one else bets on you, but you'll never succeed if you don't bet on yourself. So you can have everyone saying, this is wrong, but you can know it's right and it can still work. Don't compare yourself to others. To wish you were someone else is to waste the person that you are. And, you know, sometimes you hear these cliche things, and you're like, yeah, that's nice. But then you can hear it again and again, and you'll hear it in the right light, and you're like, oh, it's like, have you gone to a live workout, or have you ever had a workout where all of a sudden you're in the middle of your workout and you get the chills, and it's just this feeling of euphoria, or that feeling when you held your baby for the first time, and you're like, oh, that's what it feels like that they're talking about. So it's so important that you realize that these things that we're telling you are true, but you have to keep immersing yourself in this until you believe it, till you look in the mirror and go, I am pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with thinking that. So how will you accomplish it? A clear dream doesn't become clear without effort. It takes a clear vision, so you got to write it down where you can see it and be as specific as you can with whatever your dream is. What will it feel, sound, look like? Like, how is your family going to react to it? The more details you can add, the better. Like, what certain smells will happen? Are you going to smell the ocean? Or maybe you're opening a restaurant, you can smell the garlic cooking. I don't know. Like, write it out as specific, like a story. Like, but it's in present tense. I am doing this, and my toes are in the sand, and my kids are happily chasing each other, and our dog down the beach, and whatever. Then read whatever you write every single day, and then set specific goals. And this is where the action comes in. Make your to-do list of how to get there, and the first step, of course, is Google it. Then from Google, you're going to learn a lot, and start writing out to-do lists and break those to-do list down into 10-minute tasks you can do and check off one every single day. Like little roadblocks or road markers, so you know you're on the right path to getting toward your dream one step at a time. This is going to affirm your purpose. You guys, when you figure out your dream, you'll wake up excited because you will know what the day's intent is. So a clear dream gives you direction, motivation, and honors your priorities. Also, you're going to go throughout the day, and it's going to be so easy to make a decision because if somebody offers for you to do something, go to a party or take on a task or volunteer or whatever it is, or you want to go on vacation, all you got to do is say, does this honor my priorities and my dream right now? If it does, do it. If it doesn't, don't. Simple as that. It makes your day so much easier. And then you can ask yourself throughout the day, is what I'm doing right now the most important thing I should be doing? To achieve your dream, you must plan. So for secure, the S stands for stay all your positions. So the process of reaching your dream is like reaching a destination using a GPS device. If it knows where you are and you can tell it where you want to go, it can create a map for you. But the difference between GPS and you is that you have to create all of your own turn-by-turn directions. So E, examine all your actions. The real difference between a dream and wishful thinking is what you do today and day to day. In the beginning, you'll just need to start something just to get moving. It's much easier to start doing something right if you're already doing something at all. C, consider all of your options. Once you figure out a plan for reaching your dream, the intermediate steps you'll think will get you there. There might be danger, or there might be things that come up and that are like roadblocks. And so if you're having a hard time moving forward, don't change your dream, just change your plan. You, utilize all your resources. Think about your dream. Maybe you want to win an Olympic medal or build a great company or raise your children so they reach their potential. No matter what the dream, it requires resources. So what's available to you right now that you can use? Like with coaching, we have so many things available. Who can help you? Who's gone before you? And then stop and make a list of how you can connect with those things. Engage in every resource that you can. R, and then remove all the non-essentials in your life. So you'll have to give up things to achieve your dream. And sometimes giving up things isn't like giving up bad things. It's giving up good things, but they're not the best things for you. And then E, embrace the challenges. Just know that they're coming, and you'll know you're on the right path when you start to hit some roadblocks and speed bumps. So don't be afraid of those. A sensible man watches for problems ahead and prepares to meet them. The simpleton never looks and suffers the consequences. So reaching your God-given potential requires taking personal responsibility for yourself. It means taking an active role with your own life. And I think that's huge, because we think that what we do doesn't affect anyone else around us, but it absolutely does. Like, you are affecting your circle of influence. And if you give up on yourself, if you give up on your dreams, it affects generations. Whew, that's heavy. So just think about that one for a minute. And so this is the last quote. Opportunity looks a lot like hard work. And that's so true. So say you know that you want to do this, it's not just going to happen. It won't. It's going to take you getting up in the morning and doing what you need to do every single day, whether you hit roadblocks, whether you want to do it or not, whether people believe in you, whether the kids are sick, whether you're sick, of course you got to do self-care, but it's going to take you taking the initiative to make sure that whatever you're going to do, you work at it every single day, a little bit at a time, and you're committed to sticking through to the end, no matter what. So opportunity looks a lot like hard work. So I'm going to stop the share, if that's okay. So my story, you guys probably know it, but just so you know, I am a college dropout. I was fired from one of my really good jobs. I have zero credentials to be successful, like nothing. I had 100 friends on Facebook when I started coaching, and maybe 150 if I'm lucky. And probably 70 of them were my cousins that I hardly talked to. And then I had military spouses that we just kept in touch with each other. I knew nothing about, there was no training, no coach training. There were challenge groups weren't even set up yet. That was not, challenge packs were not even available yet. And I just knew that I loved what this did for me as a person, to be able to get fit and like actually be a mom that could take care of her kids and not be depressed. And I just wanted to help other people do the same. So I want to remind you that if you're on this call, you obviously have a big plan for your life, right? And I want to remind you that you don't need to get caught up in the what to do and the how-tos or whatever. There's a lot of training and distractions with Beachbody. I mean, there's tons. But if you just keep being consistent with what you are doing right, like you are using the programs, you're sharing your story consistently, you're showing up for the people that support you, and you're continuing to expand your network, then I promise you're going to be successful. But it's going to take you trying and failing a lot. Like, I'm a jumper, and then I find my wings on the way down kind of girl, because I failed really hard. I was at one point bankrupt, homeless, had just lost a baby, and my boyfriend dumped me within 2 months. And it was the worst time of my life. And I know that if I come back from that anything with Beachbody isn't scary. I'm willing to try, because if somebody else can do it, then so can you, right? So just be willing to take risks. Like, open that Facebook page, start a blog, make a YouTube video. They're all going to probably be terrible at first, but then you're going to learn. So be okay with that. And then you can just keep progressing from there. But anyway, so yeah, if I can do it, anyone can do it, because now we are living a life that we never thought possible. We're happier than ever as a couple, and I retired my husband. He loves his life, and we're just thankful. And it's not about the credentials or the swag. It's about the life that you get to have and the influence you get to have on other people. So, well, that's all, Bria. Do you guys have any questions? Or if not, that's okay.
Does anyone have any questions for Emma? You know I'll have something to say. If you do, unmute and feel free. Now's the time.
I have a little question. And first of all, Emma, I saw you talk last night and tonight, and every time I hear you speak, you always bring something like to the forefront for me that I might have missed before. And I'm really grateful because it works. You know, it's sort of like I seem to be learning in little patterns. And anyway, it just helps a lot to hear it again, you know, and to hear it in different ways.
Thank you.
One of my issues that and I'm sort of having trouble closing. Like, I'm putting a lot of content out, and I have people interested. They're a bit more tentative and cautious, and it's sort of hard because a lot of them are people that I work with. And so, you know, there's kind of a little bit of an maybe perceived a conflict of interest, you know, in the sense that my boss is their boss. And so I'm sort of closely linked with them. And I just want to, you know, I kind of want to be a little careful, because not only do we, you know, am I talking about, you know, a challenge group and they've expressed their interest, but then I have to speak to them a little later about something else that's work related. So it's been a little hard to kind of lasso them because they're being a little cautious and tentative, but I think maybe the cautious and tentative is me.
So here's what I would say to that. So when I started this business, I knew I wasn't going to build it with my family or my closest friends because I didn't want to. And because I didn't want to feel like that, like apologetic about asking them to join me on anything. And so if this is an area that's a touchy subject, then I guess my question is, where else are you expanding? And there's multiple avenues to expand through social media or local clubs and events, like through your own hometown, you know. You could start a fit club. You can meet people through wine night outs or whatever you want to do. But the more that you can say, this is my little network at work is not going to build my business for me. You have to understand that very clearly. Your immediate friends and family will not make you successful, because you're going to run out of them very quickly. And there's only so many of them. So that applies to whether it's your work family, your actual family, your neighborhood, or whatever. So you have to think bigger than that. That's a perfect place to start. But if you're feeling pullback from that, you have to think, where else can I go? And guess what? Social media is amazing, and you can use that to grow in lots of different ways. The reason why people are going to want to work with you as a coach versus Bria or versus me is going to be because of your story. And so do not share ads. Don't share the whatever the stock photos are from Beachbody. And I say that like every single call on purpose. Please stop sharing those. Don't do that. Put yourself out there and put your heart into posts and ask if, like, here's an example. I was on a call with a leader the other day, and she's like, Emma, I am literally talking to 150 people every month, and I'm not hitting Success Club 10. And I'm like, whoa, that's way too many conversations to be having. That means you're working way harder than smarter. So one thing to remember is that top coaches all have at least 50 conversations a month, 50 new ones about people's goals. Okay. So if you're not having 50 conversations, then you probably won't be building a 6-figure income for a long time. It's going to go way slower. Okay. So that's new people, not I followed up with them every single month, put their name back on the list. No, these are new people we're talking to. And then I asked her, okay, let me go on your page. And I scrolled through and I was like, why are you a Beachbody coach? And she got so choked up and started to cry about the financial situation that she's in, about being a mom and how that her insecurity, she doesn't want to pass to her children, and she wants to help other mothers to feel that way, like, because Beachbody's helped her. And I read through her page, and there was a motivational quote here and there. There's a workout video. There's a recipe. But her heart was completely absent. I was like, none of that is here. So no one knows who you are. So I'm going to ask you the same thing. If I was to go through the last 10 posts that you did, where was your heart? Do people know really why you're getting up in the morning early and doing this? And I'm not talking about like, I just got abs. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you don't have to become a depressed, emotional mess on your wall. Don't do that. But you do need to put your heart in there somewhere, because they will trust you. They will love you. They will say yes to you when they feel like they know who you are. And I know because I'm pretty open now. It took me a long time to open up, but I'm open now about my own personal journey. That's why I get people that message me and they say, I want to join your team because I feel like I know you. like, okay, I don't know who you are, but that's great. Let's do it. And eventually they become my good friends, you know, like Bria. And that's the trick. People will join you when they feel like they can trust you, you love them, you can help them. And you're not just putting in a DVD and pushing play. But why? Why? Right? And there's multiple facets to who you are as a person. You're very multidimensional, right? So sometimes it is just really because you want to kick your own ass. And that's okay, say that. But then sometimes it's like, you guys, I'm up at 5 in the morning because we live in a tiny apartment. We're $70,000 in debt, and I'm not going out like this. So I'm up here. You mark my words, in 1 year, we will be debt free. And a post like that versus on a Zoom with my girlfriend, totally different, right? Because then people are like, oh, she is going somewhere. Mm-hmm. And people want to follow someone that can go, right? Yes. So maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't, but I would say start expanding. You got to expand. There's many calls on how to expand, so I'm not going to get into that. Other than the best way to expand is get involved in your community. Show up to stuff. People will show up for you if you show up for them. Start a fit club. Start a cooking club. Start a book club. I don't know. Be the go-to person that is leading the way with things.
Okay.
Any other questions? Great question.
Thank you.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hi, Jody.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hi. How are you?
Good.
I have a question about forming. I'm having some really good conversations, and I'm getting to people's goals, and we're talking about what would be great for them, and I'm sharing a little bit about why I love that and trying to relate my experience to what they're going after. And then they're asking me the price, and then they're kind of going, okay, thanks, I'll get back to you. And then they kind of disappear. Do you have any advice for how to keep control of the conversation? Like, I feel like I'm not controlling the conversation enough, and they're taking control of it, and they're getting the facts, like how much it costs and when it starts, and then they disappear.
Okay, you create you control the conversation when you give a reason and a time of when you're coming back. So if you give the pricing, like, okay, so here's the deal. The challenge is 30 days, and you'll need a challenge pack to join. The challenge pack includes a workout program, Shakeology, yada, yada, right, a nutrition guide. And the cost is blah, blah, blah for this one, or I think you would like either this one or this one. Here's the cost, blah, 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 blah. Watch these 2 videos, and I'm going to follow up with you in 48 hours and see which program you liked better. Which one is more like you?
Nice.
Right?
That's awesome.
So something as simple as that, right? That's what I do.
Yes, I do.
Give them a time. You got to give them a time, and you got to let them know you're following up. So it's kind of like, okay, you guys get invited to like Pampered Chef stuff and whatever all the time, right? Yeah. And I've stopped going to a lot of the parties, but if they have an online, they're like, you can order from me online. As soon as they send me a message, if it's a friend of mine, that she's like, today's the last day on my Pampered Chef thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Let me order something from you. And I'll hurry and place an order. Because I know she's following up, right? If it's just out there, I'm never going to order from her because I'll forget. And so sometimes it's not that people don't want it. It's just that it's not priority to them like it is to us. So just let them know when you'll be following up to see which they prefer, which looks more like them. And then when you do follow up, just say, hey, just wanted to see if you had a chance to take a look at those videos. We are going to be closing up our group on blah, blah, blah date. I'm currently holding your spot. Do you want me to continue to do so, or will next month be better? And by just those little transitional statements, it helps them to know this is the path. And you're obviously, whatever they decide, you have to be okay with it. Like, just let it roll off your back. Because the thing is, our job is to get to know people. We're leading the way, leading by example, and then presenting options for them to help to change their life for the better. What they decide to do, though, has nothing to do with us. It has to do with them. And just to put it in perspective, like, I broke my nose in November again, and the doctor told me to fix it. I decided I didn't want to fix it because I'm afraid of surgery. So he gave me the solution to my very big problem, but it was up to me to make the decision about whether or not I was going to go forward and take his advice. Does that make him a bad doctor? Nope. Just means that I have my own issues. So it's not about him, it's about me. And it's the same thing with coaching, right? we give them solutions, follow up. Now another doctor followed up with me and said, you need to go get your nose done, and we will see. I'm still being stubborn. So anyway, but doesn't that give you like clear vision of like, oh, it's not about me if they said no. Maybe I'll follow up.
Yeah. I like that approach. That's awesome. Sometimes the smallest tweak in how you say something and present something can change everything. So thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions?
Thanks, Emma. This was such a really good, I mean, I'm really grateful that so many people were on to hear it, but I feel like I took so much away from it, and even the answers to the questions. But I think one of the coolest parts about, one thing that you said that really reached me was the importance of realizing that like maybe what you're reaching for specifically in Beachbody is not necessarily like the be all and the end all, but it's the vehicle that's going to help you design your life and live all the dreams that you want. It's not just about like, oh, I want to be, elite coach, or I want to be these things. It's like what that means to the rest of your things, like your push goal, which is really cool. And I also think one of the most amazing parts about dreaming and learning like through coaching is that learning to dream and achieve things in coaching has helped me like dream and achieve things in other areas. And you start to see your belief in yourself in so many other aspects. Like there's no way I would have ever like put a video of myself working out. There's no way I would have ever run a marathon. I wouldn't have even thought about running a marathon. Like, and there's so many things that start to come up now in life that once upon a time it would have been like, no way, not me, no how. That now it's like, maybe next year, like when I have more time, I'll take a look into that kind of thing. It's just incredible how it kind of spirals and snowballs. So thank you. I feel really inspired, and I think that others really took a lot away. I really appreciate your time.
Anytime. I'm really proud of Successfit. You guys are killing it. So keep giving you things. No, this is an awesome opportunity, and the friendships that you make are like the best thing ever. So this is what it's all about. But all right, thanks, Bria.
Thanks, Emma. Have a good night.
Good night.
I don't know. Are you guys all still there? Maybe I was just going to close quickly. I had a quote I wanted to close with, and then I was going to ask that those of you in the Emerald group stay on. But hang on, I have to share my screen to show you. I think you guys know that I've been reading Girl Boss, and I just finished it today. Here we go, share screen. I don't know why it takes me so long to figure this out, but I loved this. It says, difficult doesn't mean impossible. And out of the bajillion things in this universe that you can't control, what you can control is how hard you try. And I feel like I loved when I read that. It reminded me so much of what we're doing here, and even what Emma was talking about with dreams, because I really do believe, and the longer I do this now, I really believe that pretty much short of like flying with my own arms, anything is possible. And it really does come down to how much you want it and how hard you're willing to work for it. So yeah, maybe that speaks to you the way it did for me, but thanks again. Does anyone have any other questions that you want, that maybe came up after, or that you want to touch on before we close out tonight?
I missed everything.
Oh, gee, you missed it all. It was really magical too. I'm sorry. That's okay. I recorded it. So I will close out the recording and you can catch that. Anyone else have anything? No? So nice to see you guys. Okay, well, we'll say sayonara for the night. If you're in the Push to Emerald group, why don't you stay on for a minute just so we can touch base, and then we'll wrap it up. I don't know if anyone's in.
I am.
Yay.
I am.
Thank you.
Sharon. Bye, Shelby. Taylor. Hi, Taylor. Okay. So I just wanted to do a little, like, I know we're 3 days in, and this little group is so short. It doesn't really give us a lot of time, and it might be something that a lot of you choose to go back because it's been kind of a quiet group. But I just wanted to see if anyone had any questions or kind of clarify what Emerald is or how to get there. I want to make sure everyone's clear on those things, because my purpose in really running the group was to help everyone see that it's a simple milestone, and I think it's such a good feeling milestone to move towards in your business, and to just get it done and move behind you and keep progressing is, I think, really important. So do you have any questions on that or anything I can help with? Did you send out any invitations?
I haven't sent out any invitations. I've got people that I think, well, I've got one person that I think would be a great coach, and but I've got to wait for her to kind of just go through another part of the program. She's so enthusiastic. She's so knowledgeable. She knows more about Shakeology than I do. I thought she tells me stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. Like, I didn't know that. Better write it down. So I think it's just going to be a matter of time. But it was interesting when you said write 25 or write 50. That's for me a little tougher. But anyway, but I'm thinking about it, so thank you.
No problem. So that friend that why do you feel like you need to wait?
Partly because she's actually not taking Shakeology.
Okay.
She's trying it out on her daughter. She didn't really enjoy it, and to buy double the amount right now, she's not quite justifying, but she's trying it out on her daughter, and she's going to see. And she's just got a few things. So I did suggest it early on, and just because I just thought it would be a good idea, just even from a financial point of view. But, there's a huge opportunity later. The only thing she, has often, because I mentioned it before, just sort of casually, and she said, oh, no, I couldn't possibly, or whatever. And so I thought, okay, that's fine. Like, that's actually kind of a normal reaction. I remember when Chanel mentioned it to me. I was like, oh, yeah, no. And I didn't know about the discount. I just thought, well, yeah, I didn't think I'd. So, you kind of have to, like steep a little for some people. This is the only one that I think would be really great. But I don't know if she would ever be more than a discount coach. She'd have to see. But it's interesting. Her whole family's excited about it.